We're with John Charters-Reid, who's the co-author of Going Underground, How to Rob the Bank of England. John, how long did it take you to create this masterpiece?
There's probably 3.5 years actual research in there. So that involves online research and visiting the Bank of England several times and generally looking suspicious outside the Bank of England.
Yeah, so how did that go down with the Home Office?
It didn't go down very well. There was one or two people asking questions and the police wanted to know what I was doing, but it did look suspicious from their point of view because I had a tape measure and a camera on a tripod, so it looked rather unusual.
Can it be done? Can robbing the Bank of England actually be done?
Our book is a fiction book, in inverted speech marks. Some would say it's a manual how to rob the Bank of England.
Right. Care to embellish a bit more with that?
The Bank of England has never been physically entered and robbed.
Okay.
And so what makes it unusual is that this robbery is extremely innovative and it used techniques and methods, and even the escape route has never been done before.
So what's the premise behind the book? Why write a book about this?
The premise behind the book it's almost shoving two fingers up at the establishment because, you know, one of the beliefs behind the book is that everybody should have financial equity. Everyone should be equal, and the way the system is in the world is wrong. And if you read the book, you'll understand why we came to that decision.
Okay, so what would make it easier then, for in your mind? What would make it easier for everyone to live together in perfect harmony and all of us working off one straight currency?
Dead easy. Everyone should be healthy and wealthy, and there's no reason with all the intelligence in the world why this can't happen.
You've brought in.
So here we have on loan from a good friend of mine, a £68,000 bar of gold.
What, and it feels that it really does.
You know, it's that's just the weight of it. And if you go into the Bank of England, there is a bar of gold in there in a box, and if you can get it out of the box, you can have it. Apparently.
Would you be happy if we just all walked around with bars of gold in our satchels? I
think there should be more gold for everyone, Chris. I think everyone should be wealthy and healthy.
Tell us about the book. We've got the book here, so if you want to.
So in essence, the book is a story that's never ever been undertaken before, and it's all based on fact. And the long and short of it is the book contains 3 robberies. One robbery, which is where we take something from the Freemasons. Another robbery where we rob a cartel to get the money to buy the equipment to do the robbery for the Bank of England or the old lady, as someone told me it was called. And so it's 3 robberies in one. It's a family in London. It's an Italian family, and all the characters are real people. All the people in this book actually exist somewhere. They are people that either me or Andrew has physically met in real life, and so they all exist. And that's why when you read it, you feel like you're there speaking to them, because we've got the mannerisms, their attitude, and everything all as one.
So you're the co-author. Could you tell us a little bit more about Andrew, who's the other author of this?
We can't say too much about Andrew, other than he's a former police officer that used to work in covert operations, and that's really all we're allowed to say.
You see, that's just giving me goosebumps already.
Well, my involvement is I'm a building expert. I'm a chartered building surveyor, and I have got a craziness and an obsession for cars and engines and gadgets and AI. And so when you read the book, the 2 things that we have experienced in life and executed as a job are all made to come to life in the book.
Okay.
So interestingly, it's been stated that the robbery's never been done before, and the amount of money that is taken is insane. It's an amount of money that could start an international war.
Wow. That is quite something.
And the whole point of it is that I don't want to give the end of the story away because the twist in it is massive, and this is a book for the people. Going underground, how to rob the Bank of England is a book for the people, and so it's all geared up, and it's part of a series of books, and it's a series of intrigue as well. One of the main interesting facts about if the Bank of England was ever robbed, it's highly unlikely that they would admit that it's been robbed because it would massively affect financial institutions and the financial markets, and it could destabilise the English economy.
Right. So since this has been on launch, is it true that people have been in touch with you?
So the protocol in answering that question is the powers that be have questioned me about it, and I'm not able to say any more about it. And it's best if we leave that where it is.
Right.
Obviously, somebody somewhere is a little bit upset this book's being produced.
Okay, right. Well, we'll leave that there then.
So the characters are based on an Italian family that live and work in London. That's long established, and they're kind of like a likable family. Everybody likes them because there's no, there's no real violence involved. There's no armed robbery.
They're just lovable rogues.
They are uncut diamond geezers, lovable rogues.
I love that.
One of the interesting things about this book is how the robbery is executed and how the getaway is planned, because we are using iconic vehicles in this that have been changed beyond everyone's imagination, and under the circumstances about how they robbed the bank and the diversion that's in the book, it is simply mind-blowing. This book is forecast to be a blockbuster production. We are already in conversation with the film producer.
You heard that here first. Absolutely brilliant. That's great news, that is.
To the point where we have a script. We have a full script, a full professional script produced.
The book is based in modern day, so we're not going back in time with this one, are we?
No, there was an understanding at first that it would be based in the 1980s because we all love the 1980s, especially guys of my age. But it's modern day. It's 2024. It was all set. It was actually all filmed and took place this year in June and July in London, and the lead up to it. And it's fascinating how it takes in some of the iconic buildings and streets in London, because of the chase, and a particular thing or two happens in the chase that I would like to see how they could do it as a stunt without making it a CGI. Because it's a phenomenal piece of driving that's involved.
Tom Cruise, if you're watching this right now, get in touch with John. So in this production that you've got in your mind, who would you say would be the director of it, apart from obviously yourself being the associate director?
Clearly, hands down 100%, Guy Ritchie's the director of this film. It's got his name all over it.
What about the stars of the show, though? I mean, who would play those pinnacle parts?
Well, the stars of the show, we have people like, one of the parts was written for Dame Judi Dench, and another part was written for Ray Winston. There's a local actor that we've got involved, Harry Matthews, who said he'd love to take a part in it. So he's an upcoming actor, but he's really good. Interestingly enough, an amazing feat in this book is they don't know the bank's been robbed.
Right.
Even though we're driving through London with all the gold and the cash because we've substituted the gold. And that's a little wonderful trick. And when you get to that bit in the book, it's a light bulb moment.
Would you say anyone that's going to purchase this book for any occasion, this is holiday reading, this is seasonal reading, this is nighttime reading, anyone really reading this book, would you say this is a kind of Bible to rob the Bank of England?
So as I've said before, this is a fiction book about robbing the Bank of England based on extensive research.
Right.
Some people have suggested it could be a manual, but for legal reasons we have to call it a fiction book. In answer to your question, this is a reading book for everyone on every occasion, and it is mind blowing. And it's fiction. It's based on a lot of reality.
So when this was launched back in November, it sold out completely.
When it was launched in November, the amount of books that the suppliers had, they virtually went overnight, and we only did a little bit of advertising. And I think internationally, the name "How to Rob the Bank of England," and it's sold in a lot of other countries, not just England. Scandinavia and Denmark and America have gone crazy for this book.
Yeah, and so they should, because it's a wonderful piece of fiction.
I think this book is going to be so popular, you're going to see it in main stores, in shops and airports.
It's got some pretty unusual characters, hasn't it, really? Tell us more about the characters in the book.
The characters are real people. They're based on real live people. And when you are enthralled and engrossed in the book, you feel like you've met them.
So you've got all this production sorted out for the film in your head. What about the music? I mean, the music makes a movie, doesn't it?
Clearly does. And the opening title's got to be Going Underground by Paul Weller.
Naturally.
And another song that we would like in there is The Boys Are Back in Town by Thin Lizzy.
Yep.
And Jailbreak. And a spectacular song is Have Mercy on the Criminal by no other than Elton John.
Wow, Elton John.
Yeah, Sir Elton John. These would be fantastic in there. Talking about producers, we thought that Elton John's husband, David Furnish, would be a really good book for him to get his teeth into.
Absolutely. You just mentioned that David Furnish would be brilliant. Maybe an associated producer, Dexter Fletcher, who directed and produced Rocket Man. And of course, connected to that would be the ultimate person to play one of the roles in it, would be Taron Egerton.
Excellent. And we think that the main gentleman from the police force, shall we say, would be a fantastic part for Bill Nighy. So there's lots of cameo parts in there, and I think that when people read the book, they might see a character that they know, or sometimes they might see themselves in it. The main character in there is based on a lovable rogue that we all know, this lovable rogue person, but his appearance is based on my cousin Jack, and he's actually called Jack.
John, it's been great, fascinating as well to get you in the studio today. So one big plug for the book. So holiday reading, airports, the whole job lot.
Going Underground, How to Rob the Bank of England. You will not regret buying this book.